Welcome to the 10E24 web app. In this video, we consider a couple, Michael and Felicity Jones. Michael is 68 and in poor health, while Felicity is 64 and in excellent health. They have $1 million in their primary residence, $700,000 invested in a growth option within their pension fund, $300,000 in a geared investment property, a $250,000 share portfolio, and cash in the bank. They have calculated that they must spend $65,000 each year. They would also like to spend $25,000 on non-essential entertainment, and they would like to spend $10,000 every second year on travel costs. They are prepared to sell their home and buy a smaller house if required. Michael works part-time, and his income will reduce over the next 4 years. They are interested to know the answer to the following 4 questions. 1. They're thinking of buying a life annuity, but before doing so, they would like to know, what is the chance that one of them could live another 35 years? 2. What would happen if they spent all their desired discretionary travel and entertainment costs? They're worried how much money they'd leave their children and the risk that they could run out of money. 3. How much can they sustainably spend each year if they are prepared to sell their home and buy a smaller house? 4. How should they set their investment and consumption strategy if their goal is to spend cautiously and maintain a low risk of running out of money? Michael and Felicity are not interested in buying an annuity as Michael is unwell. To answer these questions, we're going to make use of the 10E24 web app. As these questions are a little more complex than in the prior example, we're going to use some of the additional available calculators. We start by inputting all their details. We click on Client Details and then select the client. The first tab shows their health information. The second tab shows their wealth. Next, we see their income. This tab shows their consumption needs and desires. And finally, we see their retirement goals. Now, on to answering their questions. We begin with their life expectancy. We start the life expectancy calculator. We select the client and click on the Calculate button. We see that the couple will survive for 28 years and that there is a 10% chance that one of the couple could survive for 39 years. More information is provided in the charts below the summary. The first chart on the left shows the life expectancy and longevity risk for Michael and Felicity. We see that Michael's life expectancy is 15 years and that there's a 10% chance he could live at least 24 years. Felicity's life expectancy is longer at 26 years, and there's a 10% chance she could live at least 38 more years. Michael and Felicity wanted to know the probability that at least one of them is alive in 35 years' time. The chart on the right shows this probability, and by dragging the slider, we see that there's a 20% chance that either of the couple could survive 35 years. Their second question was, what would happen if they spent all their current planned expenditure? To answer this question, we select the Strategy Efficacy Calculator. This calculator is an excellent tool to conduct what-if analysis. With this tool, we can explore the impact of altering the investment, consumption, product purchase, or rebalancing strategies. We choose the client and click on the Select button. We can now select how their discretionary spending is altered over time. Michael wanted to know what would happen if they spent their planned expenditure each year, so we'll set the discretionary spending percentage to 100%. We can test the impact of buying a life annuity in the second tab. We assume that no annuity is purchased. We can also specify how their investment strategy changes over time. They wish to maintain their current investments, but we could have selected a growth allocation that reduces over time. And finally, we specify their rebalancing strategy. We select that Michael and Felicity are comfortable selling their home and buying a smaller house if they need to, and that they'll aim to keep a liquidity buffer of 6 months of their minimum needs. Having specified all this information, we're ready to calculate the impact of these decisions. We click the Calculate button, and we're presented with the results. We see that if they spend their desired amount each year, then there's a moderate risk that they'll run out of money. They'll leave on average a little over $1 million to their dependents, and that there's a 24% chance that they could lose money in any year due to market volatility. We can also see the expected development of their wealth over time. We can explore their trajectory of their total wealth, or their wealth excluding their home. As an example, in 20 years' time, we see from the chart that we expect their wealth will be the value of their home, along with $320,000. For technical users, we are also shown the 95th percentile and the interquartile range. Their third question was how much can they spend each year to maintain a low risk of shortfall. To answer this question, we go to the Sustainable Spending Calculator. Select the client and click the Calculate button. As they are comfortable selling their home and buying a smaller house, they should aim to consume between $77,880 and $87,220 to maintain their low risk of running out of money. By dragging the slider, we see the impact of selecting a different consumption amount. As an example, spending $100,000 results in a high risk of shortfall. Their final question was, how much should they spend and how should they invest their assets? To answer this question, we return to the client journey. We select the client and then click the Calculate Best Strategy button. The 10E24 web app runs millions of simulations for each investment and consumption strategy and scores how this strategy performs relative to Michael and Felicity's goals until it eventually finds the strategy that best meets their needs. Michael and Felicity should gradually reduce their discretionary spending. They should start by spending 100% of their desired spending, but their discretionary spending should gradually reduce over time. They should also maintain a 20% allocation to growth assets like shares. By following this investment and consumption strategy, they limit their risk of shortfall to 15%. Enjoy 60% of their desired discretionary spending on travel and entertainment. Leave roughly half of their wealth to their dependents. And run a 9% risk of losing capital due to market volatility. We click on the Actions tab to see the precise spending recommendations and their expected wealth over the next 3 years if they follow these recommendations. Finally, we can click on the Statement of Advice button, which automatically creates a report for the client detailing these recommendations. Thank you for watching this introductory video. Please feel free to view other videos if you require additional assistance.